the Forrest Gump Reunion with Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and Jenny. Tell me about Here.
It's all from one camera angle. Here, bloop bloop out of the primordial ooze, we start seeing the story of a family, a young Tom Hanks, and then they have their own family. And how do you do an entire movie where the camera doesn't move? That's a creative limitation. I want to see that.
Right here is where we want to be.
This was our home.
The accurately named, but I don't think it's really all that inspirational. Here, the Forrest Gump Reunion with Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and Jenny. You know,
Right.
It's a cool looking
Wright.
idea. Tell me about Here.
Okay, big life of slice of life film telling the story of a family and a location over the years. Zemeckis has some misses and he has some hits, right? Again, always big swings. Gotta love a director who's willing to take a big swing every now and then. It doesn't always have to be that. And I think both our lists got a lot of just a nice character piece, no big swings. Let the thing breathe. Let us get to know people. And I think Zemeckis at his best can do both. A big kind of creative, how are we going to tell the story swing while still getting to know people? The gag is it's all from one camera angle of a place, bloop bloop out of the primordial ooze. We see, eggs hatching, cave woman with a baby. And of course, then it, picks up the pace a bit. And we start seeing the story of a family, a young Tom Hanks, because of course they're screwing around with age, a young Robin Wright, the boyfriend, girlfriend, the father, who I think is played by Paul Bettany. Yeah. And, then they become, the ones who, a family, and then they have their own family. And my note is, well, he hasn't been hitting it out of the park lately. When he gets the feels right, when it isn't just, hey, look at this thing we can do. I think Polar Express is a perfect example of, I can do it. Look what I did. As opposed to, well, yeah, but what about the emotional journey? I think this movie will be average. I'm still looking forward to it. Again, it's a big swing. It may be one of the last times we can buy a young Paul Hanks and an older Paul Hanks. Never mind Robin Wright. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, there you go. I think it's going to be average in audiences' minds. Like, maybe on the high side of average, could be on the low side of average. He has not been hitting it out of the park lately, but I'm still looking forward to it. Again, nothing better than a director taking a swing, and I want to see how that single point of view works out. How do you do an entire movie where the camera doesn't move? That's a creative limitation that just, it's like, I want to see that. It could be at the end, DMG, we could be talking 2 months from now and go, woof, boy, that did not work out.
Yeah, that's
wow,
my fear.
What a swing.
Yeah, and look, I love Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. I love Forrest Gump. It's one of my favorite all-time films. It came out my senior year in high school. And I like the idea of this concept. But when someone tells you about an idea for, a business, a product, whatever, yeah, and it sounds good on paper, it sounds good in the pitch phase, and then you kind of see the pilot, you see the test. This is one that when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea.
That's the kind of limitation some indie first-time director goes, wow, I really can't afford to move it around. How do I make this look good? And here's a guy who can command the services of a Tom Hanks and a Robin Wright going, we're just going to have one camera location.
Yeah, and one camera. Yeah, exactly. No movement. It's sort of like GoPro without the GoPro. It's the camera that doesn't move. It moves through time, but it doesn't. Well, it's that stationary, non-zooming in, non-focusing, I don't know. There's something about this that looks like it's missing to me. And yes, part of it is the CGI.
More missing.
Yeah, and and I'll be honest, part of this is the uncanny valley of the CGI de-aging thing. I don't know why Brad Pitt can look great in Curious Case of Benjamin Button 15 years ago, and this looks worse. The technology in this looks worse than that.
I got to push back on that one. You are not seeing the film. You're seeing something on YouTube made to get the trailer out. Wait until it happens. It may be a disaster, but wait until it actually comes out. Especially you, Brian, because I think this is a hole in your swing. I don't like CGI. I just reject that categorically. Every movie has CGI. A lot of them, even the ones who brag about, it's all practical, ton of CGI, and Christopher Nolan, he accepted an award from a bunch of VFX guys because he's got a ton of VFX, and he says, listen, I know my reputation is such that, I'm really impressed you were willing to give me an award anyway, because so much of why my reputation looks so good on the practical side is because you make me look so good.
That's true. There is
CGI is everywhere, and I think that you've been trapped by this idea, and I think it holds you back from enjoying something that may actually be really great. So I'm going to ask you to set aside that concern for this one flick once. Just set it aside. Put the anti-CGI just to the side for a bit. Let the movie happen to you. And then you can pick it up and bitch about CGI in another flick.
So you're not getting any of Henry Cavill's CGI upper lip on Tom Hanks's face in this trailer.
No, I didn't really. But mind you, again, why I think you should let it go. You look for it, and I don't. Henry Cavill, the CGI like what they did in Madam Web, where it's like, okay, they dropped in a pickup and weren't willing to do a reshoot for whatever. It's obvious. And again, another one where I'm like, what is everyone worried about AI? It couldn't do that. And they had they had more money than God, and they couldn't make that look good. So yeah, but I'm not looking for it. Whereas I think when you look for it, you see it, and you don't. Then all of a sudden you're trapped in looking for these things when you should just let the movie happen to you. I do this as well. The last video I put out was where I was basically saying, I took another look at that past lives, and it's a lot better than I was willing to admit the first time around. Because mine is more a thematic things I look for and bitch and moan about. Let the movie happen to me, and then the analysis can come afterwards. And I think this is an area where I put to you, sir, if you let that go for a bit and just let the movie happen, and then afterwards you can say, what the fuck? Or, oh, that wasn't that bad.
The suspension of disbelief a little bit. And
just let the movie happen.
Okay, I'll consider it. That is a good point to bring up. And it's very fair.
The biggest problem is going to be the Irishmen. They may have looked younger, but they're still moving like really old men. And that was one of those weird cognitive dissonances, the uncanny valley you speak of so well. That was one of the problems. Whereas here it looks like, nope, everyone's gonna, it's gonna cut right. We're not gonna expect he's gonna move in a way that seems reasonable for someone of that age. They're not going to put him in a position where it's like, oh, it looks like an old man getting up.
Well, in the same way that, Samuel L. Jackson doing the de-aging in Captain Marvel, a lot's been made about him kind of moving slowly, much slower than a 39-year-old Samuel L. Jackson. And that's where I think it's like, it ain't the CGI, it's the person under it, where it's like, oh, what are you doing? Sakes. Well, speaking of CGI,
really? Anyway,
here. Or I guess technically it's just here. Are you guys planning to watch here when it comes here to theaters? Or I guess technically it's here coming there. So are you going to go there to watch here? I don't know. Here, there, everywhere. I'm not sure. Are you guys planning to watch? Here, let me know in the comments section below this video. Also, are you excited for the Forrest Gump reunion between Robert Zemeckis, Tom Hanks, and of course, Jenny, Robin Wright Penn? Are you guys excited for that little mini Forrest Gump reunion? And do you think Bubba's going to show up? Is Lieutenant Dan going to show up in this film? I don't know. Let me know in the comments section below this video. I've been Dragon Movie Guy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.